In this video, we are going to show you how to replace your tailgate on this Nissan Titan. Okay friends, to get started on our job, the first thing you want to do is open up your tailgate. Now once you have that down, we're going to continue on to removing this faceplate coming across the tailgate. To remove this, there's going to be 8 Phillips head screws. Remove all the screws and then the protective plate. We'll give that a quick inspection, set it aside. The next thing we want to do is carefully get inside this hole with some long nose pliers. There's going to be some tabs that hold the molding to the top of the tailgate. Reach inside, find those tabs, give them a little squeeze, and gently start pulling it off. Continue on to each of your 2 10mm headed nuts. Let's grab onto this actuator assembly. Lift it up a little bit here, just off of those studs. Now let's move along from the center over to one side. We're going to look into these rectangular holes. What you're looking for is some squeeze tabs. You'll find 2 close to the top of the tailgate. And then if you were to move towards the bottom, inside this area, you'll find another one. That's going to be on both sides of the center here. So you want to do the same on one side as you do the other. To break these free, I'll use some long nose pliers. Grab onto the ears, you can squeeze those and carefully try pulling down on the plate a little bit. You'll notice it starts to release as you continue. Now we're going to continue on to these 2 yellow areas. On each of the yellow areas, you're going to find that it's a locking tab that holds the rod into position. We're just going to go ahead and break this free. Once you do that, break the rod free from it. Do the same on the other side. Now we can reach inside here, remove the actuator. Now we're going to move along to each side of the tailgate. What you're looking for is 2 12mm headed bolts. You'll find that the one that has the cable going to it is considered a captured bolt. The bolt will be attached to the cable. Once you have both of those out of there, we're going to carefully grab the latch and start removing it from the tailgate. It's still going to have the rod that goes through the tailgate attached to it, so just slide it right on out. Now for this one, I'll just lift up on the tailgate a little bit, releasing pressure from the cables. Go ahead and grab that latch and start pulling it out. You'll notice as you're pulling it, approximately in the center of that rod, there's a rubber bushing. That slides right out. There we are. Lift up that tailgate and do the same to the other side. There we are. Remove this side latch. Now it's going to be time to remove the tailgate. When you do this, you want to have it at a slight angle, just as I have it. Now I'm going to lift it upward diagonally towards me and then pull it towards the passenger's side. With the tailgate safely down in an area that we can work on it, we're going to start removing our badges, making their way across the tailgate. Now I'm going to be reusing this tailgate, so I'm not going to take off every single letter. I'll show you how to remove one, clean the tailgate, and then reinstall that same letter. The first thing you want to do is take a measurement. Measure the height of the bottom of the letter down to the bottom of the tailgate. Figure out exactly where the letters are supposed to start. Once you have that measurement, continue on with the removal process. To easily remove these, generally you want to use a heat gun, a small prying device, and a plastic trim tool. Let's heat up the area where each of the badge letters are. When you do that, the adhesive on the backside is going to start to soften and start to raise up. Carefully get under it and gently peel it up without damaging the lettering. Now I'll carefully use a small screwdriver just to get underneath this area. I'm going to be extremely careful not to damage the paint during the removal process. With all the letters off of the tailgate, make sure you clean the tailgate where the letters are going to be going onto. Once you have it lined up, carefully press it into position. Now we're going to start putting the tailgate back on. You want to pay attention to this area right here. This is the tailgate hinge area. And then if you look down along underneath the tail light, you're going to find the hinge area that's along the body. We need to go ahead and slide the tailgate over that area. Once we do, we'll do the same on the passenger side. There we are. You want to have the tailgate tilted. Slide it right on over there. Now continue by holding the tailgate up and grab your latch assembly and your rod. We're going to take this rod and slide it right on through this rectangular hole. We've got our rubber grommet. Slide that through. Bring that all the way through until the latch is in the proper position. Once you have the latch lined up, continue on with your two mounting bolts. Remember, there's one that looks like this, and the other one is a capture bolt attached to that cable. Once you have both of those on there, go ahead and snug them up. Once you've got them both tight, make sure you grab that cable, give it a little wiggle to make sure it can pivot. At this point, move along and do the exact same thing on the other side of the tailgate. Now we can get this plate onto our tailgate. Have a look at the backside. You've got all of your push clips that make their way around. After you see all those, make your way to the tailgate itself. You're going to want to pay attention to where all of your mounting holes are. Line it up, press it in. Now that we have that in there, it's time to pay attention to the rods. Let's look at this rod. As you follow it this way, you can tell that it looks like it's diagonal right now. Where it connects onto the latch is closer to the front of the vehicle. So as you come this way, you want to make sure that you have this rod looking like that. So it's pretty much parallel with the tailgate. Make your way down to the other side and you'll find that this rod starts closer to the top of the tailgate or the rear of the vehicle. Go ahead and straighten that out as well. The next thing you want to pay attention to is down inside this hole. Right where your lock mechanism is, there's a stud that comes up. It's important to pay attention to that. Now let's have a look at the actuator. This area right here is for where that stud is supposed to go through. If you do not put it in there, your lock is not going to work. Now also on the actuator, you also have your two mounting holes. Just pay attention to that as we slide this into position. Let's make sure that goes over. Once that looks good, continue on to your two 10mm headed mounting bolts. Snug them up. With the tailgate in the unlocked position, pay attention to this area right here where the handle meets the actuator and the area where your two rods are supposed to connect into. We want to make sure it functions properly. As you can tell, it all pivots as needed. Now we can start mounting each of the rods. All you need to do for this is just slide it into position over your locking tab. Press it down and then lock it in. Do the same to the other rod. Before we close the tailgate, let's test the handle latch functionality. To do that, use a screwdriver. Push it right down inside the latch. This essentially makes the vehicle think that the tailgate is shut. I'm trying to pry up on this, like I'm trying to open the tailgate. Now I'll reach down and pull on that handle. Assuming it releases like this did right here, there's no more adjustment needed. If it did not release, what you would need to do is go ahead and adjust these rods. To adjust them, just go ahead and pop it free. Grab the rod and slide it this way a little bit further, okay? You don't want to go too far because then it'll stay in the unlatched position, but you do need to find a happy medium. Once you feel as though you've got it in there properly, go ahead and slide it in, lock it down, and test it again. Now it's going to be time to put on the tailgate top molding. Pay attention along the bottom side where all those clips are. Look at the top of the tailgate, find the holes, match them up, lock it in. There we are. Get them lined up. Time to reinstall this protective plate. Slide it into position, line up all of our mounting bolt holes. We'll start in each of the mounting bolts before we tighten any of them. Let's start tightening the bolts along the top of the tailgate. Make your way back across along the other area. Once you feel as though you have it fully installed, go ahead and shut that tailgate. Perfect. Okay friends, we got the tailgate back together. Of course, you're going to want to test it a few times. Make sure it latches in perfectly. Aside from that, go ahead and take it for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.